Hello, my beautiful feather tribe. Welcome or welcome back to Unbound Soul Tarot. My name is Helen and I am so happy that you're here. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I know that I have been away for a very, very long time. It has been a few months since my last upload. And yeah, life has been crazy. Life has been in a very different place. So yeah, I'm sorry if you have been one of those people who have been waiting for a new reading for a while. I thank you so much for your patience, and I thank you for still being here, for still giving me a chance, and for still giving my channel a chance, as hectic as it is in its uploading schedule. But anyway, as I said, I don't want to spend too much time on this, so let's just focus on the fact that I am doing a new reading. We are here, and let's see what this new year has ahead for you. So we're starting off small again. We have 3 piles, and these 3 piles are for you to choose from, to go off of your intuition, see which pile calls to you the loudest, so that you could receive the messages that you need to hear the most about what January, February, and March 2023 have in store for you. So what you can look forward to. Now, these 3 cards, you may feel drawn to more than one pile. That is absolutely okay. That's normal. You can watch as many as you like. You can watch all of them, but just use your discernment and really feel through all of the messages that you hear and see which ones truly speak to you, truly resonate with you, sound like they are your messages. There may be more than one pile that resonates, but generally, at least that's my personal experience, there always tends to be one pile specifically that speaks to you personally the most, that resonates the most on like a soul level, or like some sort of intuitive level. And if it happens that you watch all of the readings and nothing really speaks to you, you don't really recognize anything, it just means that these messages specifically coming through this reading are targeted at someone else who possibly needs them more than you do for some reason. Yeah, so that's it. And as always, don't try to force anything to fit into your life if it doesn't naturally, just, let it be. But yeah, anyway, so we have gone through the usual drill, the usual intro, so let's jump straight to the piles. As always, we start from the left-hand side and move towards the right. So for pile number 1, we have this crocodile. So if you feel drawn to this crocodile spirit, go with pile 1. For pile 2, we have this dragon spirit. So if you feel called to this specific animal or to this card, go with pile number 2. And for pile number 3, we have Moth. So if you feel drawn to this sort of energy or this image, go with pile number 3. So there you have it. Spend some time. There's no rush. And whenever you feel ready, go down into the description box or the comment section down below, click on the timestamp that you need and jump to your reading. So happy choosing, and I will see you guys on the other side. Hello, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. So you chose this crocodile spirit, and the energy that is sort of coming off of this card for me is very much like a preparatory one, or like if you resonate with this energy, then it seems to me that at this time you are in like a waiting mode. It's like you are getting ready for something. You are possibly planning, possibly structurizing, organizing, getting all of your ducks in a row before you take some decisive action. Because this sort of energy, even though it has many different ways of manifesting or expressing itself, right now I don't feel like an ominous energy at all, even though we will see what comes out from the actual cards and the cards talking about the months that we are looking at in this reading. But just on its own, I don't feel like a menacing energy at all. It just feels like sort of taking it slow, biding your time, not rushing into anything, just sort of letting everything come together as it needs to, so that you could have the best chance for success. But I am also drawn to this very intense gaze, or this eye of the crocodile, and it makes me think that you have your eye on something very intensely, like there's a focal point. So even though I feel like externally you may not be making too many active or fast movements, I do feel like there is quite a lot of frantic activity going on inside your mind, inside your head. Even though this is a water element card, which speaks of like, you know, like emotions and intuition and it's those types of things, but for some reason I feel much more like air energy. But we'll see what comes out. So let me think where I can, it's always, you know, with the first pile, I'm sorry guys, you always have to bear with me trying to find the right place for the avatar card. So we have this stack over here, and these cards are going to tell us about your months or the first quarter of 2023 and what you have to look forward to. So let's start with January, of course, because that's where we are at right now. So we're first going to look at the general energy of the month for you, or the general theme, so to say, and then we're going to see more specifically like what you will experience during this month. So let's see. Oh wow, okay. We have a new start is coming, a new moon. We have broken heart. We have deception and envy. Oh my god. Sorry. And finally we have seahorse, spirit, watch and wait. Okay, I'm going to get to the tarot cards in a second. I just want to get a feel for these oracle cards first. So what I'm feeling here, pile number one, is kind of a confirmation for the crocodile energy that I was picking up on. And it does feel like, as I said, you are preparing for something, and it seems that what you are preparing for is some sort of new beginning with this new moon card. It's like you are waiting to turn over a new leaf, possibly because of this broken heart card. For some of you, it could be that you are sort of trying to close out some sort of relationship or commitment or emotional ties to someone. If you recently went through a breakup, or if you are currently going through a separation of some sort, it could be that you're just trying to sort of digest everything and, as I said, get all of your ducks in a row before you actually start making physical changes, physical movements. It could be that you know, for those of you who have already broken up or are currently in the middle of a separation, it could be that you're still living with the person, or you still have like shared responsibilities. You still sort of are forced to be in a constant contact with them, but maybe the relationship itself has sort of ended, and so you just sort of need time to really untangle yourself from that situation and from that person. So there is definitely an element of keeping things to yourself here. And I did feel like, as I was saying with the crocodile, that there is a lot going on in your head or inside of you, even though on the outside it may not be that apparent. And I definitely feel that with this deception and envy card here too. I don't feel like anyone is deceiving you, and I don't necessarily feel the envious element here either. I just feel that there are a lot of things being unsaid, a lot of emotions and a lot of thoughts being kept to oneself. And it's just this like internal processing that I feel that is happening. And that's why it seems like the month of January, it may be more quiet. It may be a bit more uneventful. So that's why, even though this broken heart card is here, I don't feel like I'm also feel like whatever this thing is that you are separating from, it doesn't have to necessarily be a person or a relationship. It could also be a job. It could also be a living arrangement that you have with someone. It could be a friendship. It could be detaching from some sort of plan or some sort of thing that you were working towards that maybe fell through. Whatever it was, I do feel like there is a letting go happening, or trying to like rearrange some plans or some thoughts, and figure out a new path, figure out a new direction. So, as I said, with this new start, a new start is coming. I definitely feel like there is excitement, even though it may be very small right now, or it may be very unnoticeable, or it may be something that isn't too obvious at the moment. But I do feel like there is excitement, or there is anticipation for this new beginning, for this new thing. But of course, because of all of these cards in the middle here, there is an entanglement of like difficult emotions and difficult thoughts, and there is a lot to process here, definitely. So I feel like you're not rushing. I feel like you're taking it easy. And again, if there is someone else who is mixed up in the situation with you that you are leaving behind, or that you are trying to separate from, it's possible that they are sort of going through the same thing. But yeah, I don't feel like there is too much communication. I don't feel like there is too much sharing going on, or too much opening up. It's very much an internal process that is happening here. So yeah, that's what I feel like your January generally is all about. Just sort of quietly preparing for the future and for next steps. But let's look at the tarot. Let's see what more specifically you will be experiencing, or that you have been experiencing in the month of January. Okay, so we have the Queen of Wands. We have the Eight of Cups, which feels very apt. And we have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, the last thing, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the thing I do want to say about this broken heart card is that I don't feel like it's something that is going to be happening for you in this month or during the month of January. I feel like this is something that has already happened, or that is in the middle of happening. Like you are already experiencing this. So if you haven't gone through some sort of like separation, or a circumstance in which you have to sort of reorganize yourself or set a new course towards something, then don't be discouraged by this broken heart card here, because I do feel like it's some sort of pain that has already happened, and you are sort of purging those emotions and trying to work through them and leave them behind. Okay, so coming back to these tarot cards. So we have the Queen of Wands, the Eight of Cups, and the Six of Pentacles in reverse. Now, the Queen of Wands over here could represent you, or it could represent another person in the situation if there is one. But just as an energy, I feel that the Queen of Wands here is representing a sort of energetic release, and really just sort of coming to terms with what one is feeling on the inside, what is going on, what truly sort of matters. Looking at priorities, rearranging your priorities if that's what needs to happen, and really putting yourself first after maybe a long time of serving someone or something else. Investing yourself in the sort of livelihood or the thriving of a contract, a relationship, whatever role you were in previously, that you are now sort of trying to detach from. And now with the Eight of Cups, and I love that we're getting the Eight of Cups specifically, because even though I don't feel like there are too many, as I said, too many like physical steps being taken this month at least, to separate yourself from whatever this situation is that you are letting go of, I do feel like an emotional separation is very much happening, or like during this month and during this sort of introspection and sorting, sifting through your feelings and your thoughts and what you feel called to move towards next. I do feel like there is a breakthrough happening, which is sort of allowing you to get closer to the point where you actually can start taking those physical steps. So this emotional detachment that is happening, or emotional breaking away from, or realizing what it is that you are leaving behind and being able to sort of let go of it, being able to release it, seeing what is more important, seeing that your own well-being is more important. I feel like that sort of internal shift is mainly what you're going to be experiencing in this month. And again, it could be the same for the other person if there is another person in the situation, or again, if you are currently in the middle of a separation, or in the middle of like things falling apart, then it could be that that's sort of the understanding that you both arrive at, or that, you know, or that you yourself arrive at. Because with the Six of Pentacles in reverse here, I definitely feel like the situation that you are sort of leaving behind is not going to be receiving any more input, or it's like there is a clear cutting off of energy investment that I feel with the Six of Pentacles reversed, which sort of makes this transition, or which makes this going towards, or turning towards a new direction much more concrete than it maybe has been previously. So this almost feels like an arrival of some sort, or getting to that like point of no return, where there is only the path forward now. There's no turning back. There's no resuscitating, no reviving. And I feel like that's the biggest shift that will happen for you in the month of January. Again, either you have already experienced it, or you are currently in the middle of experiencing it. But let's sort of clarify as best as we can, whilst also seeing sort of what the advice would be for you. So let's start with the Queen of Wands. So let's see what we can find out about the Queen of Wands. Oh, thank you. Okay, so we have the Eight of Pentacles, and we have Strength in reverse. So 8, 8. Sorry, in this deck it's number 11, but you know, I'm so used to Strength being number 8. So yeah, I do feel like with the Eight of Pentacles here, the message is very clear on suggesting you to sort of keep working towards what is in your highest good. And I feel like especially with the Strength in reverse, to focus on those priorities and reprioritizing yourself, because with Strength in reverse coming out, I do feel that maybe for however long you have been in that situation, or at least for a considerable amount of time, you may have been putting yourself on the background, or not prioritizing your own needs, your own desires, your own wishes, almost like diminishing yourself, or putting yourself down. Or maybe if you were in a dysfunctional relationship, maybe allowing or you know, putting up with your partner putting you down, or if it was, you know, in some sort of job situation that wasn't actually the best for you, it wasn't the most conducive to your growth and your development, maybe allowing like a toxic boss, or you know, like a dominant boss or dominating boss to put you down, or to make you feel crappy about yourself. So it just feels like a building up or rebuilding of the self, of confidence, of self-worth. And I do feel like that's a very strong keyword here, especially with the Queen of Wands. And so that sort of makes me feel like the Queen of Wands is more so talking about your energy, and this whole month seems to be very much focused on you in general. Let's look at the Eight of Cups. Oh, okay. Well, we have quite a few cards here, but anyway, okay, let's take them. So we have the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords, the Queen of Wands again, and the Five of Wands. Yeah, so I do feel like for some reason the Five of Wands seems to be the most important card here, which really tells me that it's necessary, or it's important to fight for what you truly deserve, and to fight to overcome these the situations and the things that are sort of adding to those feelings of not being good enough, or you feeling bad about yourself, you feeling bad about your life. I feel like it's important to protect yourself against all of these like negative influences and negative thoughts, to really shelter yourself and really like stand up for yourself. And so it could be that at some point, if it hasn't happened already, even though I do feel like for a lot of you it has, there may be this like either this conversation or this blow up, this conflict that really forces you to finally see how much your like self-worth has been compromised, or how much you have been making yourself smaller or diminishing your own light so that you could fit into something, into a situation that maybe isn't the best fit for you. So yeah. This feels like again, like a breakthrough. And finally, let's look at the Six of Pentacles in reverse. What's the clarifying advice here for the Six of Pentacles in reverse? Okay, that's way too much, but I'm going to take, okay, these two. We have the Ace of Swords in reverse, and we have the Six of Swords. Yeah, so with the Ace of Swords reversed, I do feel like that like decisive point, or that decisive action is not necessarily taken just yet. I feel like it's not like it's not like a triumphant moment just yet, but I do feel like, again, it's like this, it's just this understanding that something needs to change here with the Six of Swords, that there is something better available. And like with those two cards coming out side by side, I do feel like the Six of Swords, which is that even though this process of separation and charting a new course is difficult, right? It is difficult. The Six of Swords is by no means like an easy peasy card. It's a card that demands sacrifice. It's a card that demands leaving a comfort zone, even if that comfort zone is, again, not the best for you. But I feel like it's talking about you prioritizing this transition towards something new, something different, over trying to make whatever the situation is sort of work by force, you know, forcing it to fit into place, forcing it into, you know, going on or progressing. So, yeah, I feel like that prioritization seems to be an important message here. But that's pretty much January for you, pile one. As I said, as we are pretty much through January, it's most likely easier for you to discern whether this scenario and these messages resonate for you or not, and whether you're actually watching the correct pile for you or not. So hopefully that helps. But let's move on to February, as I said. So again, we're going to look at the general energy of the month of February, and then we're going to focus on the tarot. So hang on, let's just move these up a bit first. So let's see. Okay, we have bring love into the situation, new moon in Aquarius. We have first chakra, Archangel Michael. We have obstacles and challenges. And we have Panther Spirit, reclaim your power. Okay. So, as you can see, I sort of had to rearrange the cards a bit so that we would have more space, because otherwise all the cards are not going to fit into the frame. But going back to these cards representing February for you. So the general energy that I feel for February is one of starting to take more like tangible steps and really focusing on making yourself feel more safe, feel more supported. It just seems like in the month of February, you are starting to like find yourself more again, or there's starting to, it's starting to become more clear for you what the actual steps are that you need to take. And we do have these obstacles and challenges, so by no means I'm not saying that it's going to be like a walk in the park, because obviously energy doesn't change that drastically from like one month to the next. So some of these things that you are sort of dealing with and battling with internally, they are also some things that will carry on into the month of February, which makes sense. But there do seem to be a lot more feelings of like, I can do this, and starting to believe in yourself more, starting to actually build up the strength and the courage to face these obstacles and challenges that that come with making changes, physical changes in your life. Now, it's also interesting that for both months you have these new moon cards. And new moons are all about potential. They are that like initial spark or initial push that puts things into motion, that puts change and progress into motion. It's that starting point. It's that blank canvas where everything is still possible. And so if in the month of January you are still like trying to gather your thoughts, trying to gather yourself, then in the month of February it seems like that that blank canvas is possibly not as terrifying as it was or is right now. Because even though I did feel excitement, there's also an element of dread. And that's why like things are sort of, you know, I feel like January is or was the month of like taking things slowly, whilst in February things start to speed up a bit more. Things started to move. And I do feel like there is a rebuilding of like a new foundation for yourself, especially with the first chakra and this Panther Spirit here. This to me feels very much like fighting for your sense of safety, or fighting for a sense of belonging, and really trying to secure your footing again. So yeah, that's sort of the general energy here that I feel. But let's look at the tarot cards to get a more specific sense of what you will be experiencing. Okay, we have the Star in reverse. We have Temperance in reverse. And we have the Ten of Swords. Yeah, so I'm not actually surprised to see the Ten of Swords here, because, as I said, I do feel like things will start actually moving. And especially with Temperance in reverse being here too, I do feel like both of these cards are suggesting that February brings some sort of like actual physical manifestation of an ending, or coming out of that state of like things sort of being in a hazy point right? Which I feel like January very much is. February seems to bring a lot more like clarity, even though, again, because we have the star in reverse here, so it's not going to be easy. And I know that it probably sucks to hear that, and I am sorry, but most likely if you are resonating with this pile, and if that's what you're going through, then easy is not something that you have been in anyway, so it's nothing new to you. But there is a sense of like closure, if I can say it that way, that seems to happen in the month of February. And another thing that like really strikes me here is that the Ten of Swords, there are two versions of the Ten of Swords in this deck. And this one specifically speaks more of like that understanding and that like new level of wisdom or knowing, because it's the culmination of the Suit of Swords. And so, as I said, I feel like there is this deep understanding, or this deep sort of moment of clarity that happens for you in the month of February, where you can sort of make peace with what has happened and see it from another perspective than maybe you could before. Especially with the star being in reverse here, I do feel like your focus is turning from like having some sort of hope or holding on to something that maybe deep down you know is not going to work, but you know, just having that emotional attachment or being in that gray area, right, where like things are not one way but they are not like another way either, you know, things are very much in that unspecified hazy area. So it's like you're coming out of that holding on to some sort of last residues of hope, or wanting things to work out in a way, possibly, to actually seeing why it's better, or why things had to go the way that they had to go. And again, like making peace with that. For some reason, I feel a lot of peace. Even though we have Temperance in reverse, we have the Star in reverse. There is a point that you arrive at in the month of February with the situation that you are leaving behind, where things sort of seem finally done, where things seem finally over. Like again, like that closure point. And I feel like that's the sort of breakthrough that will help you to get to this point of like starting to rebuild a new foundation for yourself. Like again, bring love into the situation. I feel like you are starting to see with a different pair of eyes that are not clouded by hurt and pain and disappointment and regret and all of those like more difficult emotions. So in a way there's healing, but it's the type of healing that like makes it easier for you to say goodbye to something. So yeah, let's move on to the clarifying cards. So let's see what we can find out about the Star in reverse. Okay. Yeah, the Son of Swords, which is like the Knight of Swords. And yeah, I do feel like there is that sort of clarity, shift or fast movement. And I do feel like it sort of comes about pretty abruptly. But it's the sort of thing that helps you to move to, like, more concretely to a new direction. Okay, Temperance in reverse. So we have the Eight of Wands, interesting, another card of fast movement, and we have the Three of Cups in reverse. So, yeah, see, that's what I mean. That's what I feel like February is going to be about. It's like there will be a progression towards getting out of that, like, hazy area, which for some reason feels like the Three of Cups in reverse to me right now. it's almost like this, are we or aren't we? Or like, it's like there are still threads that are sort of clinging to something, or that there are things that are undefined or that haven't fully been, that you haven't fully walked away from yet. There is some sort of like attachment still here. And again, it's normal, right? It makes sense. You don't just automatically get over your attachments and feelings and emotions and all that. As much as you are sort of working through that and doing that in the month of January here, and that seems to be the focus of the month, it's clear that it's not going to magically be over or done with as soon as February comes around. And so it just feels like momentum to me, and trying to sort of, move more concretely towards your true happiness, or at least separating yourself from the situation that is or has been draining you. And finally, the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords. Oh, okay. I feel like there's way too many cards, and we did get the Lovers turning over. So, yeah, the Lovers, in this instance, I feel definitely talks about the choice. With the Ten of Swords, as I said, this to me feels like this choice of like accepting and surrendering and just, it's that moment of closure that I feel like is going to take place. And the Lovers just seems to sort of indicate that letting the situation go sort of peacefully is probably the best thing that you can do. And I feel like the choice is you choosing you. You choosing your happiness. So, yeah, there is a lot of like, again, personal power, personal, like you building yourself up or starting to feel more sure of yourself, to the point where you are actually able to take some physical steps to get the ball rolling in a tangible physical way, and just making peace with what is, starting to resolve these difficult feelings that have been very prominent for you in the month of January, and possibly even from before. But let's finally look at the month of March as well and see what we can find out from here. So, okay, we have conclusions are within reach, full moon eclipse. Okay, how funny is that we start from new moon energy and we end with full moon energy. Okay, we also have strategy. We have triumph. Wow, love that. And we have dog spirit. Be loyal to what you love. Okay, so I do have to say I am absolutely loving the sort of breakthrough and momentum that is coming through in the month of March for you. So it seems to be a very dynamic month. It seems to be the month where you are more concretely working towards that new direction. It seems that like this first 3 month window of the year is all about you trying to or working through some sort of transition, separating yourself from something that clearly has no place in your future, and sort of taking back your power from that situation, from that relationship, from that circumstance, and directing it in a direction, or directing it in a direction that is much more supportive of you, much more supportive of your growth, of your success, your alignment, your fulfillment, your happiness. Now with these cards as well, with conclusions are within reach and strategy, actually with Triumph too, I feel like for those of you who are maybe going through like an actual divorce or some sort of separation where there is paperwork, where there is like legal things to go through, legal steps to go through and finalize, I do feel like March may be the month where those things actually finalize or conclude, or where, you know, you can dot the I's and cross the T's and sort of call it a day. That's for some of you. But just more generally, I feel like the month of March is a month of you choosing your new direction and really focusing on it, really putting your effort, putting your energy, putting your intention into this new thing. And with this dog spirit, I do feel like March may be the month that gives you like a very solid goal or very solid point to strive towards. Whereas the first few months is like you sort of building yourself up and releasing what needs to be released. March is the month where that like new direction seems to come into like full clear focus, and it's like you're free to move to the next level, to move to the next chapter of your life. But let's look at the actual things that you will be experiencing. Oh wow, love that for you. We have the Devil in reverse. What was I saying? For some of you, this is definitely like March is the month where you like finally are able to once and for all separate from something that you have been attached to, or whatever the situation is, right? That you have been entangled in. Especially with this strategy card, if you've had like legal documents binding you to some situation or to some person. We have the Emperor. Wow, I am loving this. And okay, we have the Two of Cups in reverse. So yeah, just looking at these cards, I do get a very strong sense that for a lot of you watching this reading right now, this is talking about a relationship. This is talking about a marriage, or this is talking about some sort of like commitment that you have been a part of. But I love that the Emperor is here, because I do feel that again, this is sort of you taking full control and command of your life, and really, like, as I said, more concretely, more actively starting to move towards a new direction or a new goal, and really like releasing yourself, which I see here with the Devil in reverse and the Two of Cups in reverse. I feel like the month of March is basically you becoming free, or you setting yourself free. And it seems to be the month of your autonomy, or it's all about your power, your goals, your visions, and you taking charge of your life again. For some reason, I am getting a very, like, as I was feeling here in the month of January, I did feel like you were in some sort of role that didn't really allow you to focus on yourself. That the role that, you know, pushed you in a situation where you had to be something or someone for someone. You know, like, we have all of these different roles in life where either we are a parent to someone, we are a sibling to someone, we are a child to someone, we are a boss to someone, or a co-worker to someone, we're a friend to someone, we're a wife or husband to someone. And we have all of these different roles. And whilst we are in these roles, it's very easy to forget that we are also us, and we have our own needs, we have our own goals, we have our own dreams and our own aspirations in life. And sometimes those get forced on the background as we are dealing with these roles that revolve around other people. Yeah, this March this March of 2023 seems to be the month where you finally can start living your life more in a manner that allows you to focus on you, what you want, your next steps, and your goals and visions for the future. This almost feels like a re-establishing yourself. Whilst this is more of like this preparatory stage and getting ready to like take some concrete steps, right? Overcoming some of these challenging situations and breaking free from that hazy gray area that is still keeping you in that in-between state of like not being fully enmeshed or tangled in this situation that you are in the process of leaving behind, but not fully being free of it either. And I feel like March is the month where you are finally free. But let's clarify these last cards as well, and then we'll be done with the reading. I know it has been a very long one and I do apologize, but thank you for still being here if you are. So the Devil in reverse. Let's see what we can find out about the Devil in reverse. What sort of clarifying advice do you have for March and the Devil in reverse for pile 1? March 2023 and the Devil in reverse. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so we have the Mother of Pentacles in reverse, which is the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. And yeah, that clearly to me feels like sort of you being released, or you releasing yourself from this role that you were in for someone. Because the Mother of Pentacles is the nurturer, is the one who takes care of others and who creates a sort of a warm, loving, homely environment. And we have the Ten of Swords at the bottom again. So yeah, this is you sort of releasing yourself from that role or saying goodbye to that role. And again, because the Mother of Pentacles or the Queen of Pentacles is very often considered to be like the mother archetype, it just further sort of reinforces the idea that this is talking about like a full divorce or separation. But just as an advice to you, I do feel like this is, again, not sort of emphasizing how maybe your own needs have been put or forced to the background, and that there is a definite need to like start nurturing yourself and start turning all of that loving care towards you. Because I feel like there's no need to parent whatever this situation is. So that either, you know, this is talking about your partner that you're separating from, or whether this is talking about like, again, a living arrangement, or, you know, whatever the case is for you. So it's time to start nurturing yourself. Let's look at the Emperor. Let's look at the Emperor. Okay. Wow. We have the Five of Cups. Interesting. We have the Eight of Cups in reverse at the bottom here. I feel like there is a need to allow yourself to fully experience all of these emotions, especially all of the emotions that crop up as you are sort of trying to leave the situation behind. Because obviously, you know, it's not easy to walk away from something that has been a part of your life and that has been a part of your reality for a very long period of time. And so I feel like almost this Five of Cups is saying to like not be too hard on yourself, to not demand too much of yourself, to not be too harsh with yourself, because the Emperor can absolutely do that. As much as the Emperor is like a badass, masculine, authoritative figure who like takes charge and who takes responsibility and who makes things happen, right? Who stands for the difficult things that a lot of us would rather not deal with. the Emperor can also be a bit too demanding, can be a bit too unforgiving. And especially with the Eight of Cups in reverse, it almost feels like there may be a point where you sort of start punishing yourself for like not leaving earlier, for sticking with the situation, or for putting up with it, or for, I don't know, wasting time. But I do feel that it's important to cut yourself some slack and to remind yourself that, like, no matter what period of life you were thinking back on, you were doing the best that you possibly could at that time. So there is a sort of an allowing energy here. There is a need to give space to your emotions and to give space to your past self and the decisions that your past self made, and to not judge yourself too harshly on those. Okay, finally, the Two of Cups in reverse. Let's look at the Two of Cups in reverse for March 2023. Two of Cups in reverse for March 2023. Okay, we have the Seven of Wands in reverse. Okay, interesting. And we have the Two of Cups at the bottom. So, yeah, the Seven of Wands in reverse is definitely an energy of surrendering. But because we have the Two of Cups at the bottom here, I do feel like the message is needing to not become like cynical after this, or needing to not fully and totally close yourself off to relationships in the future. Because again, we do have quite a lot of relationship energy here, so I'm sorry that I'm very much focusing on like a relationship scenario, especially if this is something else for you, that, you know, that the situation still applies, but it's just not a relationship but something else. I just feel like this Seven of Wands in reverse here is saying to like not completely give up on love, not completely give up on the possibility of sharing yourself with someone, because as amazing as it is that you are sort of reinventing yourself and starting a new life in a sense, it doesn't mean that you have to walk down that life all on your own for the rest of your life, you know. It doesn't mean that. And so yeah, I just feel like that's not really a warning, but it's just something to sort of be mindful of. You know, that you wouldn't fully close yourself off to the idea of love and to the idea of like an equal partnership, or you know, being able to function in a relationship while still having room for yourself and not losing your identity in that relationship, not losing sight of your goals, your dreams, keeping those alive and working towards those, as well as keeping that relationship thriving too. But anyway, I don't know, this reading has been so long, and I haven't been back in such a long time that it's weird. It's weird to get back in that saddle, but hopefully this wasn't a complete, you know, chaotic mess. So as always, I would really appreciate it if you could let me know whether this was your reading. If you're still here, thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. And I'm very much looking forward to your feedback. So let me know if you got some hope from this, if this spoke to you, how this reading made you feel. Let me know. But yeah, thank you so much. You can also give me just a thumbs up if you don't want to get too much into details about your situation. That's fine too. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for watching Pile 1. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you in one of my next readings very soon. Bye bye. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. So you chose this dragon card, and This is a very special card. Whenever this card comes out, or whenever I just see this card, I always get a feeling like I'm looking at the divine, or like the divine is looking back at me. It's a very, very powerful card. There is a lot of oomph to this card's energy. And so with you having gravitated towards this card, I get the sense that you may be like very determined at this time, very determined to take charge of your life, very determined to make some necessary changes that may be long overdue, very determined to cut out people or situations, arrangements, circumstances from your life that don't actually serve your highest good anymore. You may be determined to set the record straight. I don't know who that's for. But there is a lot of determination that I feel with this card. And so this almost feels like a gearing up or powering up sort of energy. Almost like being willing to fight to the end, or not surrendering, not giving up. And there is a lot of fearlessness here too, with not being afraid to show yourself the way that you truly are, or what you are truly feeling, what you are truly thinking, especially if you have been keeping it to yourself for a while, especially if you have been trying to keep other people happy, trying to please other people, trying to just sort of say and do the right things for everyone else, and maybe not necessarily yourself. So yeah, this feels like a no bullshit type of energy, and just sort of coming out of your shell type of energy, really surging forward with full power, and just unapologetically choosing yourself. So this is kind of badass energy. Very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see what we actually get from the monthly energies, and how that corresponds to the energy that you are in right now. So possibly you're gearing up for something quite important. So we'll see whether anything like that comes out from the cards. But yeah, so having said that, let's turn our focus to January 2023. So we are first going to start off with the general energy of the month. And since we are pretty much done with January by now, which I do apologize, I know that the timing is not the best for this reading, but in a way it also helps you to decipher how well the January energies are matching up with what you have been experiencing so far. So it'll help you to decide whether you're actually watching the right pile as well. But anyway, let's see. Okay, yeah, we have North Node, step out of your comfort zone, as the first card. We have the Temple Path. Ooh, we have Sacral Chakra. And we have Spider Spirit, make your dreams real. Now, it's interesting. I'm just looking at the numerology here. So the first card out is number 12, which reduces down to 3. But we do have a slight synchronicity here nonetheless, because with Sacral Chakra being number 2 and Spider Spirit being number 56, which reduces down to an 11, which further reduces down to 2, but we have 1 1. So we have 1 2 2 1 1. So a lot of 2s, a lot of 1s. You may be seeing 1 1 1 or 2 2 2 or 11 11, 22 22, something like that. You may be seeing these repeating numbers. So there may be quite a lot of synchronicity for you, or maybe throughout the month of January you have seen a lot of numerological synchronicities. But anyway, we'll keep the tarot cards for a bit later. Let's start with these. So looking at these cards, I'm by no means surprised to see this type of energy here because, well, first of all, January tends to be the type of month where not that much is happening, or people are sort of gathering themselves, recharging their batteries, and you know, it's kind of a winding down sort of period. It's not really the type of month where a lot of people push forward or take a lot of action. It's more so a just sort of taking it easy type of month, generally, usually. But with these cards, I definitely feel like a stirring within you, because, well, at least it sort of makes sense to me now why there is all this determination that I was feeling with the Dragon card. Because it's clear to me that there is something very, very heavily on your mind, something that is sort of brewing inside you with the sacral chakra as well. It seems that something that you truly feel called to move towards, something that you truly feel called to do, is raising its head, or has raised its head already, especially with the Temple path here too. This is a very spiritual card, a very sort of like soul-driven card, very divine card. And with North Node as well, North Node is like that North Star that our soul is sort of called to during this lifetime, something that we need to strive towards, something that we need to move towards. And it's very often something that makes us feel very uncomfortable, that raises a lot of fears in us or activates a lot of doubts and uncertainties in us, because it's something unfamiliar. It's something that we have never done before. Our soul hasn't experienced it before. So it's new, it's uncomfortable, it's scary. And that's the whole point, right? That's the only way that we and our souls essentially can grow and develop. But I do feel that it's something that you seem to be activated by right now, or at least the month of January seems to be very much about this goal or this calling that you feel to, as I said, make some changes, do something differently to better your life. And especially with Make Your Dreams Real, it's clear that the goal that you are striving towards is nothing short of what you want your ultimate dream life to be. And because of all of these spiritual cards here, and I mean the Dragon card itself is also a very spiritual card. You can see from the silvery ring at the top here, which represents the element. And this is the sort of the spirit or the ether element, because this card specifically represents the solar plexus chakra, if I'm not mistaken. So this is one of the chakra cards in any case. And so this again, furthermore, pulls us back to this like connection to a more spiritual or a more like soul-driven energy. And it seems that January is very much the sort of month for you where that is at the forefront, where you maybe are not necessarily making like drastic changes or drastic steps just yet, although some of you may be doing that too. But just like the spider is weaving its web like bit by bit and sort of creating this bigger network, this bigger sort of grid or scheme, I feel like you are sort of taking baby steps too. You're working your way to that thing, or at least doing whatever you can to move towards that desired goal. So that's the general energy, which again feels very, very supportive of the dragon energy that you seem to be in right now. So let's see with the tarot cards, more specifically, what you have been experiencing in January and what you will experience in January. Okay, so we have the Nine of Wands. Wow, we have the Seven of Wands. And we have the Eight of Wands. Okay, wow, all Wands cards. So There is definitely that passionate energy here with the sacral chakra. It's clear that is the energy center that is possibly the most active right now for you, the most activated. So yeah, desire, passion, drive, vision, inspiration seem to be at the forefront, or the main key words for you during this month. And now the interesting thing here too is that I see the 9 of Wands next to the 7 of Wands, which means that in between these two cards there is the energy of the 2 of Wands, as well as with the 7 of Wands and the 8 of Wands. In between these two cards is the energy of the Ace of Wands. And now the interesting thing about that is that the 2 of Wands is very much a planning energy. It's not so much a taking action sort of energy. It's that energy of making sure that you have a specific goal, making sure that you have specific steps to take towards, so that it wouldn't just be like a useless waste of energy. So you wouldn't just scatter your energy around. And with the Ace of Wands, again, it's clear that there is that spark of inspiration, something that has stirred you to start thinking about these changes or a new direction, or, where you want to move to next in the first place. And with the 8 of Wands, I definitely feel like in the month of January, if you haven't sort of gotten there yet, although for a lot of you, I feel like you have, I feel like during the month of January, that sort of direction where you want to put your focus to, or getting very clear on your priorities, getting very clear on what it is that you actually truly want and what it is that you don't. With the 7 of Wands, it seems that there is a very clear distinction that you sort of arrive at, or it becomes very clear for you what you no longer want to put up with and where you feel called to instead. So I feel like during the month of January, your intuition is speaking to you very loudly. Again, I feel like you are seeing a lot of synchronicities, a lot of symbols, signals from the universe, from your higher self or from your spiritual team. There just seems to be a lot of like pointers and a lot of direction for you. Because with the 9 of Wands is a very tired, a very exhausted sort of energy. And again, this is the type of energy that has been ongoing, that has been lasting for a long time. This is a man who is beaten down by all that they have been through, by all that they have experienced. And I sort of feel like that's how you feel about the life that you have been leading up to this point. Your reality, your day-to-day, it's like it has become a rut, or it has become just sort of too draining, or it's not making you happy anymore. And I feel like the dissatisfaction has gotten to the point where you just don't want to do it anymore. Like the uncomfortability of staying where you are has gotten worse than the uncomfortability. I'm not sure whether that's a word, but bear with me. The uncomfortability of actually moving to a new direction, or moving, changing your circumstances, which we all know is very scary and takes a lot of courage. But I feel like with the 7 of Wands, that courage definitely is definitely there. It's definitely present for you in the month of January. Again, I feel like a lot of you have experienced it already. A lot of you have already arrived at this place where you see the path ahead, or at least you have some concrete steps that you want to take, and are sort of making very solid plans towards changing your life. But let's see with some clarifying advice what else Spirit has to say about these cards. So the Nine of Wands, could you please clarify the Nine of Wands? Okay, thank you. Yeah, the three of Pentacles in reverse. Wow, and the Tower underneath that as well. The Three of Pentacles in reverse is a clear signal to me that whatever it is that you have been building, and it's something that has, again, it's solid, it has been worked at for a long time. It doesn't seem to be fulfilling for you anymore, or, you know, it's, in any case, there's no moving forward in this situation or scenario anymore. And with the Tower as well, the Tower very often indicates that there has been some sort of like divine intervention that has taken place, which has shaken your foundation or shaken the way that things have always been. But it can also be that there has just been this sort of light bulb moment for you, which shifts your perspective entirely, and that's what sort of forces you to make these decisions. And for some reason, I feel more strongly that rather than having experienced a divine intervention or like a massive breaking apart of your reality, I feel like it's more so talking about that like aha moment for you, where a light bulb switches on and you realize, looking at your life, that that's not really how you want to proceed anymore. So with the Three of Pentacles in reverse as well, the advice here would be to not allow other people to like sway you or influence you too much either, because the Three of Pentacles very often does contain, or sorry, not contain is not the right word, consist of other people too. It's not a solitary energy, it's a working together energy. It's different energies coming together and creating something. So I do feel like this is very clearly saying to sort of stand strong in your beliefs, in your convictions, especially if there is like backlash from other people who may want you to stay where you are, who may want to keep the structures that have been in place for longer, even if it's not actually in your best interests. So just be prepared for backlash, but don't allow that to sway you, okay? You keep your eye on the prize. Let's see, the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands. Oh, okay. 3 cards turned over. So we have the Six of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles in reverse, and the Four of Swords in reverse. Yeah, I varied. Okay, and Mother of Wands at the bottom here. So more wand energy. But I definitely feel like your peace of mind may be disturbed during this time, especially with the Six of Pentacles here too. I feel like there could be a lot of people who have an opinion about what it is that you're doing, or about your vision, about what you want to sort of do, or where you want to move. So I feel like the advice here is to keep a balance between sharing what it is that you want to do and keeping your plans to yourself. I'm not saying that you can't tell people what you are planning to do, or you can't share your visions, but just be mindful of how much you actually share, because with the Four of Swords in reverse here, I definitely feel like your mindset could be easily influenced. Even though with the Mother of Wands, this is like, again, this is very like badass, confident, self-assured energy. But even the way that this card is designed, I feel like there is the need to protect yourself, the need to protect that vision, that goal. So just keep in mind to not share too much, and to be sort of selective of who you share those ideas and thoughts to, especially if you know that there is someone around you who you maybe look up to, or who you respect, whose opinion matters to you a lot, but who may be sort of very critical of other people or other people's ideas. Just that type of thing. Be very mindful of sharing your thoughts with people like that, okay, who have a strong influence on you and what you want to do. And finally, the Eight of Wands. Let's see, can we get advice? Okay. Yeah, we have the Ten of Cups. So this is with the Six of Wands in reverse. So this is clear to me that this direction is definitely something that you just like, you can't actually even fight it. I feel like, because its pull is just so overwhelming, it's so strong, and it's clearly everything that you dream of. The Ten of Cups is the dream life. It's the happily ever after, the full overflowing emotional joy, contentment, satisfaction, happiness, all of that. And so I feel like the advice here is to keep that at the forefront of things. And also, if you do want to communicate, if you do want to share your ideas, make sure to share them with people who sort of have your back in whatever it is that you do, who fully support you, who fully love you, and yeah, who will just sort of celebrate with you, okay? So let's move on. That's the month of January for you, but let's look at the month of February. So based on these cards, you should already get or have a pretty solid understanding of whether this pile is yours or not. And yeah, I hope that this resonated with at least some of you. I'm going to push these cards out of the way a bit so that we would have more room to look at February. So let's see what the general energy of February is going to be like. Okay, we have full moon in Leo. Don't let pride get in your way. Wow, another synchronistic number. We have number 44, woman holding a heart. We have wisdom with number 5, and we have coyote spirit, trust in divine detours. Okay. I get a sense that in the month of February, you may feel like someone or something is trying to distract you, or, you know, like someone is sort of standing in your way in a bit. But I don't feel like that's actually the case, or I feel like if something sort of does come out of the blue that you weren't really expecting or preparing for, I feel like that sort of distraction, quote unquote distraction, is actually coming from a very like good place, or there are good intentions behind it, especially if it's a person that sort of sways you or steals your attention, at least for a bit. Because I definitely feel like with this woman holding a heart, for some reason I don't feel like this is you. I feel like this is another person's energy. Or maybe not for all of you. It might not be another person. It might be a sort of circumstance that happens, or something, again, something that just sort of takes your attention away from what it is that you're doing for a bit. But for a lot of you, I do feel like it is a person. And I feel like this person that is going to influence your month of February is doing so from a very pure place. I feel like this person either wants to help you, wants to support you, or just sort of wants to be there for you as you are working towards whatever it is that you're working towards. But for some reason, especially with this full moon in Leo and this wisdom card, I get a very strong like alpha male energy. And I'm not saying that you have to be a male yourself. It's just masculine energy, which all of us have, regardless of gender. This just feels very like alpha male, very matter of fact, very sort of hands-on, driven, focused, determined, again with that dragon energy, right? It's almost like you don't really have time or attention to spare to this person. But especially with the trust in divine detours, I feel like there is a specific reason why this person is coming in, or why this help is coming in, or this situation is coming in. It might even be like an opportunity for some of you. An offer of some kind. And I feel like, I just feel like saying don't turn it away, or don't ignore it, don't push it away. because I do feel like it's actually placed on your path to help you forward and to, you know, make this journey, make this path easier for you. But I just feel like you're not going to see it because you will be so focused on whatever it is that you are striving towards with that wisdom card here. So yeah, I feel like February is going to challenge you in a good way and bring something unexpected into your life. Throw a sort of spanner in the works, but again, in the best possible way. So let's see what you are actually going to be experiencing in the month of February. Okay, we have the Six of Swords in reverse. We have the Empress. Yeah, that's that feminine energy here. Again, not gender specific at all. It doesn't have to be a female specifically sort of coming in, or, you know, it doesn't have to be a female, but it's very feminine energy. Okay, yeah, and we have the Ace of Pentacles. See, that's that offer that I was feeling. There is definitely some sort of offer coming your way or some sort of opportunity. And with the Empress being here too, this is clearly an opportunity to grow even further or to blossom, to really you know, have success, but in a more effortless way is probably the best way to say it. And the thing is as well, like this offer, opportunity, whatever it is, it's coming from a very sincere, genuine place, but it might not seem at first to be that special or to be that valuable. But I feel like just like this image here, I feel like it's something that may arrive in a rather like small package or something, like metaphorically saying, something that doesn't seem to be too like exciting or full of a lot of potential, but I do feel like it actually is. It actually is so much more than what it seems at first. There is a lot of potential for growth there and expansion, especially with the apple tree here. But now with the Six of Swords in reverse, that's that sort of slowing down energy, or that's that, like, as I said, spanner in the works, where you are like temporarily distracted from what it is that you are doing, from the direction that you are moving in. So don't be alarmed when in February something happens that slows your progress. But I almost feel like, again, I almost feel like this is something that actually makes the journey more successful for you. Again, with the Empress is almost like this this blossoming, growing, expanding energy where like the universe almost does the work for you, or you don't have to do as much. You know, things sort of fall into place. You meet with the right people, or you end up in the right circumstances at the right time. Something like that. So there is a lot of potential in the month of February. Just make sure to not ignore it, to not turn your back on it, because again, with this full moon in Leo energy, you may be so sort of stubbornly or very fixated. You may be very fixated on what it is that you are doing and your vision, that you may not realize, again, how promising and how beautiful that opportunity actually is. Or again, if it's a person coming in wanting to help, support you, that type of thing, I feel like with their help, the sort of the goal or the vision will be even like, it will be 10 times better than what you could accomplish on your own. For some of you, it may be like a romantic thing too, but let's look at the clarifying advice. So Six of Swords reversed. Wow, okay, that was quick. Okay, we have another Nine of Wands and the Five of Cups at the bottom. Yeah, see, that's the thing. The Five of Cups is what I feel like you will feel when this sort of distraction comes in, or when your progress is sort of halted for some time. And it seems like with the Nine of Wands, it may seem like you are so close, or like that sort of, yeah, there's just, I don't know. I don't know the best way to describe it, but it just feels like disappointment to me. Like you feel massively like pushed back, or like needing to take 7 steps back or something like that, when in truth that's not actually the case. There's just like a shortcut that you are diverted to or redirected towards. So yeah, I just feel like with the nine of wands is really just saying to not give up, to not, you know, let the despair or the sorry, I can't speak, discouragement like get the better of you, because falling into that like melancholic place, or fighting to keep going in that direction where maybe, you know, again with the detour, right, there could be that the universe is like trying to get you to slightly move off that path towards something that is more conducive to that path or to that goal, more easy for you to actually arrive there. So yeah, just I feel just saying like stay open-minded and don't let like these sort of unexpected situations that arise or unexpected people that come in, don't judge them too quickly. The Empress. What is the clarifying advice for the Empress, please, for February 2023? Wow, okay. Don't want these, but I do want this. We have Temperance in reverse and the Father of Swords. With these 2 cards, I do get a sense of control and the sort of the need to control situation, the situation that you're in, sort of, I feel that like surfacing. But with Temperance in reverse here, I feel like the advice is to sort of, at least for a while, to take your hand off the wheel, so to say, and allow the universe to sort of step in and do what it needs to do. So don't try to like micromanage, because I feel like the moment that this sort of distraction happens, it's not going to make sense to you, or you're not going to see how it plays into the bigger picture here. But it will make sense to you eventually. Okay, the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles for February 2023 for pile 2. Okay. And we have the Six of Wands, which now came out upright. So, wow. And the Moon in reverse. Okay, I love seeing that. The Moon in reverse to me is that things, as I was saying, things will make sense to you in the end. You will see the light at the end of the tunnel. The shadows will be gone. You will have clarity. And the Six of Wands, I mean, the Six of Wands is a card of success. The Six of Wands is a card of triumph and sort of transforming a situation. Whatever this offer is, in whatever form it arrives, again, it could be just that person sort of stepping in, wanting to be a part of this journey of yours. It will lead you to success. So stay open-minded and stay positive about the opportunities that come your way. And I do feel like also saying that if it's a person who's offering you their help or something like that, try not to see like the devil where there isn't one. You know, try not to look for ill intentions, or, and I'm not saying to not use your discernment and to just blindly, you know, believe everything and everyone. Not that, but just stay open-minded, stay confident that you will know what you were doing, that you've got this, you are on the right path, and like the support coming in is truly in the form of like helping you succeed. Okay, so that's February for you. Seems to be a very interesting and surprising month, full of surprises, but ultimately leading you to your desired destination. Okay, and finally, let's look at March. So March 2023, we have waning moon. What do you need to release? Interesting. We have number 43 now with man holding a coin. Oh, hang on, you can't see anything. Okay, I'm gonna deal with the cards in a sec. Okay, we have number 5 again with emotional loss. And we have another lion card with number 37, be generous of spirit. Okay, interesting. So, okay, so I don't want you to be alarmed by this emotional loss card, because I feel like all of these cards are tying into a bigger theme or a bigger story here. And the main keyword for March, pile number 2, is that I feel like you will be sort of experiencing an unexpected attachment that may still be lingering from whatever it is that you are sort of detaching from now, or the changes that you are making, right? Or the changes that you're planning to make. That's one thing. But I do feel like maybe in the month of March, arrives a point where you actually realize what those changes fully entail and what you have to let go of in the process of making those changes. And maybe some of those things or some of those attachments you didn't like really or fully think of, and so it almost like may come as a bit of a surprise, or it may be more challenging to let some of those things go. Because I definitely, with both of these cards here, and I mean with the waning moon too, but with the man holding a coin and emotional loss, I do feel like something that you value maybe more than you thought that you did, and might even come as a surprise to you too. That seems to sort of be triggered in the month of March, where you need to like let something go. And it may be something that you maybe, again, didn't pay too much attention to as you were making these changes. And maybe you sort of like unconsciously carried these attachments with you, just not even like considering that those are the things that can't come with you to this new life, or this dream that you are building. And so I feel like you're sort of faced with the actual need to make some like physical changes now, which again, I feel like really drives the point home of not being able to carry that attachment with you. And yeah, for some reason, I don't know why, but I feel very strongly that whatever this attachment is, it doesn't seem to be such a big deal to you until you arrive to that point where you have to let it go. Like that's when it sort of takes you by surprise that you actually care that much about it, or that you want to, or that you don't want to let it go. But I feel like in the grand scheme of things, it's actually better for you if you do. I don't know, it's very interesting, pile 2. Very interesting. But what this is telling me is that by the month of March, like some of these physical changes that you are sort of mapping out in January and sort of starting to move towards in February, I feel like some of them are really, really becoming more solid in the month of March. Like there are definitely some changes that have taken place by the time March comes around, or in the month of March. Okay, anyway, let's look at the tarot cards of what you will be experiencing. Wow, we have another 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups coming out in reverse here, but still, the emotional loss card in this deck is like the 5 of Cups. Yeah, we have the Knight of Wands. And we have the Queen of Cups in reverse. Okay, interesting. Now, for some of you, I definitely feel that when March comes around, or at some point in the month of March, for those of you who have taken more drastic steps by that time, I feel like this sadness, or this like attachment sort of comes up in the form of like almost like nostalgia, or just like it may be a sudden wave of sadness that hits you from regarding something that you already walked away from, or something that you already left behind as you were sort of changing your life around. Because for some of you, these steps, these changes are something that you start taking more early. And for others of you, you are planning a bit longer and possibly starting to take those actual steps, like either sometime at the end of February or in the second half of February and in March more specifically. But again, it's going to vary. But I just feel like with this Knight of Wands, this to me is speaking of like that drive, that passion, right? That determination to chase after the life that you truly want. Like that's that driven energy. That's the sacral energy that is pushing you forward. But with both of these Cups cards coming out in reverse here, I feel like it almost, well, as I said, it takes you by surprise. But I feel like the sadness of what you have to let go of in pursuit of this new life, or in pursuit of these dreams or goals, especially if there are some people that you maybe have to leave behind, with the Queen of Cups here in reverse. It could be that that's what really like surfaces or comes to the forefront for you in the month of March. So I almost want to like prepare you that during the first 2 months, or the first, January and February seem to be the months where you have this determination, you have this drive, you have this conviction of what it is that you're doing, of what you want to move towards. But it's almost like in the month of March, and again, possibly by like late February, there's almost this like little slowing down that happens where you actually start to focus more on what it means, like what it truly means, what all of these changes entail. And it's almost like this wave of sadness hits you, and possibly drowns out that determination a bit. So just be mindful that your emotions are going to run wild a bit in the month of March, and they are going to become a lot more powerful than that like sacral drive that you have been sort of operating in. And for some of you, this Queen of Cups and Five of Cups in reverse could also just mean that this is like a saying goodbye, or like a mourning of the path that didn't work out, or the things that you invested yourself into, the things that you used to put effort in that didn't work out the way that you wanted, right? That like forced you to make those changes in the first place. So there's just some sort of grieving that I feel like happens. And I don't want you to be too alarmed, because I just feel like it's this emotional process that is happening within you. Most likely that's the case for most of you. And it's just something that you sort of need to process. But it's by no means something that like stops you in your tracks fully and like, stops that progress that you have been making. I just feel like that's the sort of emotional score that you need to settle before you can fully move on. And with the Lion card being here too, I do feel like there is actually like that resolve is still in you. It's just that you need to like deal with these emotions first. But let's see, Five of Cups in reverse. Okay, wow. Okay, so wow, we have quite a few cards here. So okay, so we have the Five of Wands, the Strength card in reverse, the Eight of Coins, and the Page of Coins in reverse. Yeah, so with the Strength card in reverse, this is clearly like a a loss of confidence or a loss of faith in oneself for a bit. Okay? But I do feel like it's temporary. So I don't want you to get too worried. But yeah, with the Five of Wands, there is definitely some sort of like inner conflict that comes about for you. And it's interesting that with the Eight of Pentacles here, we have, again, the image of the spider in its web like we had here in January. So I definitely feel a connection with these two cards. And so again, with this direction that you have been working towards, right, with this net that you have been building, it seems like there is not necessarily a loss of faith in it, although with Strength card, that could be the case for some of you. But I just feel like there is this like taking a step back, not really knowing how to proceed for a while, not making any new steps in that direction, just sort of taking a time out. And I feel like saying that the advice here is to allow it to happen. Yeah, on the bottom of the deck, we have the Sun of Cups, which is like the Knight of Cups. So again, this emotional component seems to come out very strongly, and the universe is just saying to allow it, to give it a voice, to give it a presence, and to not shove it aside or try and ignore it, because I don't think that's going to work. So just allow these emotions to sort of sweep over you. And then I feel like you can proceed. But let's keep going. Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands. Okay. Yeah, Two of Cups. And the Father of Wands, or the King of Wands at the bottom here. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I feel like that's the, as I was saying, that's just the thing that fully like lights you up. That's the thing that is the ultimate goal for you. That's the thing that you're striving towards, right? So with the Two of Cups coming out upright, I feel like this is that resolve, or this is that passion and drive that you are working towards, that is pushing you towards your dreams. I feel like that is going to be staying intact. So again, I don't want you to worry too much about like falling back into some sort of old pattern or losing your progress, losing your momentum, like that type of thing. I just feel like this is a little time out, and then you'll be on your way again with an easier conscience and with an easier emotional state as well. And finally, the Queen of Cups reversed. Queen of Cups reversed for March 2023. Okay. I guess we're taking all of them. Okay, and we have the Daughter of Swords at the bottom, which is like the Page of Swords. So we have the Son of Swords, which is the Knight of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles again, and the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, see, I feel like the Queen of Cups in reverse here is talking of something that that you used to value, something that you used to be emotionally invested in. So as I said, again, this could be a person that you are having to leave behind. If it's like, if you need to remove yourself from a relationship of some sort in order to make these changes and sort of turn your life around. Or it could be, I don't know, it could be your home that you've had to leave behind. It could be your friends or your family, your support group. It could be a goal that you're working towards that didn't fully manifest. It could really be anything that just meant a lot to you at one point. And again, I feel like it still means a lot to you in a way. But that sort of becomes really evident in the month of March, because up until that point, that drive and that passion really like overtake everything, or they really submerge all of these emotions and all of these feelings that are still there. But it allows you to sort of like, that fire and drive allows you to drown them out, allows you to ignore them and keep pushing forward. But again, I just feel like it's like you can only outrun them for so long. And I feel like March is the month where it really sort of catches up with you and you can't ignore them anymore. But I feel like the advice here, especially with the Knight of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles, is to sort of like not lose sight of this new path or this new opportunity again, right? That seems to be coming in for you in the month of February. So there is like this new direction or this new door that is open for you. And I feel like Spirit is wanting you to focus on that instead of what it is that you are losing or what it is that you need to leave behind. Because there is a lot of potential there. There is a lot of growth there with the Seven of Pentacles here. So just don't lose sight of that goal entirely is what I feel like saying to you here. But yeah, wow, okay. What a reading, pile 2. I think I'm going to end it here because I feel like this has been such a long reading. And I do apologize for it taking this long. And I do hope that you're still here. And I do hope that this reading spoke to you, helped you, encouraged you, made you feel more secure in the upcoming months. Because honestly, it looks like you are carving a path, a new path for yourself, which is such a bold, courageous thing to do. So I definitely commend you on that, pile 2. It seems like you are doing some massive things with your life and really fully taking charge. But I also feel like there are some pretty exciting things that are going to be happening for you, that are going to surprise you and sort of spice things up for you a bit, make them more exciting. And it's not going to be fully like smooth sailing. I mean, but life rarely is, right? So that is sort of to be expected, especially when you are making big changes in your life. But I feel like the main message here, the main thing to keep in mind is that the universe definitely seems to be supporting you in this endeavor and helping you and trying to sort of help you get through these changes as easily as possible. And yeah, ultimately, you seem to be making the right moves for yourself. You seem to be doing exactly what it is that you need to be doing. And if you just keep following your heart, following that inner voice, that sacral energy, right? That drive that is pushing you to take all of these steps, then you're solid. So yeah, just enjoy this drive, this passion that you seem to be in right now, that energy that you seem to have, and see where it takes you. But wow, pile 2. Really cool reading, and I hope you feel that way too. All the best to you for the first quarter of 2023, and yeah, I guess that's it. If you enjoyed this reading, or if this spoke to you, if you could recognize yourself and your January so far, don't forget to let me know some way. You can leave me a comment in the comment section. You can give me a thumbs up. Anything like that, I would really appreciate it. Would let me know that these messages do actually help someone out there, even if it's just one person. It still means so much to me to know that. So please let me know. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you guys very soon in one of my next readings. Bye bye. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. Let's get straight to it. So we are going to look at your sort of avatar card first that you chose, which is Moth. The fact that you chose the Moth animal spirit card tells me that your energy may be a bit scattered right now. We also have this air element card here, and if you are at all familiar with the energy or the characteristics of the different elements, then air is by far the most unstable of all of the elements. It moves around the most frequently. It is the most unpredictable. And yeah, it doesn't like to stay in one place too often, right? It likes to move all the time. And so with this moth energy as well, like a moth to a flame, right? We all know that saying. I am feeling like you are almost all over the place, or like you feel drawn in so many different directions that you don't fully know where to go, where to invest yourself, where to direct your energy. It just seems like there is a lot of like hesitation, there is a lot of questioning, there is a lot of analyzing, overthinking things. There may also be some anxiety as well, even though that's not actually the energy of the moth, but I just feel this sense of like, yeah, this sense of anxiety or worrying or trying very desperately to figure out what the right steps for you would be. And so it's almost like, because you don't have a clear vision, you don't have a clear path, you're just trying everything to sort of see whether anything would stick. Yeah, that's the energy that I feel for you right now, pile number 3. So if you are resonating with that, then it's a very good first indication that you are watching the right pile. So scattered. Scattered is the main keyword that I feel for you, pile 3. But let's see what we actually see from the first 3 months of the year. So starting with January, which I know that we are pretty much already done with, right? But in a way, it's good to see whether that month's energy actually rings any bells to you, because when it does, again, you know that you're watching the right pile. So let's see the energy of the month of January. Okay, we have hold your vision, fixed moon. We have number 22, yin and yang. We have number 9, solitude. And we have number 20, this and that are true. Okay. And we're going to keep the tarot cards for a bit later. So let's start with these first. So I do feel like the general energy of the month is actually one that is trying to sort of push you into a space of like quietude and introspection, so that the energy could sort of simmer down, calm down, and that it wouldn't be so frantic, and that you wouldn't feel so frantic and so all over the place. But I do feel like, I don't know, it could be due to the circumstances that are happening around you, or due to what you are going through right now. It seems to be something that is very difficult to do. It's almost like the universe wants you to slow down. And I mean, we all know anyway that January tends to be the type of month where people generally slow down, right? Because December is even though it's the month of the holidays, it's usually a very dynamic, a very busy month, and there is a lot going on, there is a lot happening, there's a lot of communication and traveling and moving around and socializing and all of that. And then the month of January is usually the month where like things sort of quiet down, things die down, people are more so like withdrawn or recharging themselves and reorganizing their life and sort of preparing for a new year. And so it seems like that is something that the universe like wants you to do too, to sort of stay put, to stay still, to be in that like tranquil state. But for some reason, I don't know like exactly what it is that you are going through or what is happening around you, what you are surrounded by. But it seems that like external reality is something that sort of is not actually allowing you to take that time off. It's like you are being pulled in all of these different directions. Like I was saying with the moth energy, that the energy feels very scattered. We see that with the dolphin spirit as well. This and that are true. So it's like you are drawn to here and there at the same time. But I definitely feel like you feel the sense of like disruption, or that how that being pulled in all of these different directions is actually getting to you, how it's affecting you. And we have this yin and yang energy here too, which is the sort of the play of like masculine and feminine energy and how those two operate together. But for some reason, I feel like even though the universe is wanting you to switch more into that feminine energy, that receptive, that quiet energy, the masculine energy seems to be winning for the time being. It seems to be the one that is like dominating your life right now. And so getting to that place of like clarity is very, very difficult. But let's see what we can find out from the tarot cards and whether those reflect that sort of battling of these energies. Let's see. So what are you experiencing or have experienced in the month of January? We have the Three of Swords in reverse. Okay. Wow, we have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. And we have the Ace of Wands in reverse. So with the Ace of Wands in reverse, I definitely get this sense of like lack of direction or lack of clarity. But at the same time, and even more strongly perhaps, I feel this sense of like exhaustion or the sense of being tired, feeling drained, feeling like you are out of energy, like you are out of resources. And I definitely feel this like this chaotic energy that I was feeling with these cards of January, and also this Moth energy in general. They definitely seem to, like, that sort of energy seems to be reflected from these cards too, with the Five of Pentacles and the Three of Swords in reverse. With the Three of Swords and the Five of Pentacles, these seem to be, especially because they are coming out in reverse, they seem to be indicating something that has already happened or something that you have already been in for some time. And I definitely feel a sense of loss or a sense of like not really knowing what to do, where to go from there, feeling like there's not a lot of support, like there is not a lot of answers out there. And especially because with the Three of Swords, there are two different versions of the Three of Swords in this deck, and this specific version is one of not like heartbreak and loss and that, but it's one of like expanding one's mind, learning lessons, gathering new information. And yeah, it's like, I just get the sense that you are like frantically looking for answers, but you're not getting them. Or there is not a lot of clarity in your pursuit of things. And with the Five of Pentacles in reverse, I just feel like that there is something missing. But it's like you don't exactly know what it is. And there is just this like, this restlessness, which is also like paired with feeling really tired, feeling really exhausted, feeling like you need a timeout, like you want a timeout, but it's for some reason you're not able to have that timeout right now. Anyway, so that's really what I feel like. Again, I know that these are very like polarizing or confusing messages possibly, but this energy just feels very chaotic and all over the place and sort of like contradictory at times too. So I hope that this is making more sense to you than it is to me. But let's see what clarifying advice we can get. Three of Swords in reverse. Okay, yeah, we have the Nine of Cups that came out with the Daughter of Wands or the Page of Wands in reverse. So the Nine of Cups to me is like, it's a comfort zone. That's what I feel like, especially when it comes out with the Page of Wands in reverse. So I do feel like in a way it's sort of indicating that even though this roaming around and frantically searching for answers or trying to find answers from the external realm, from your surroundings, even though it's not giving you the answers that you need, there is something that is like comfortable about it for you, or something that is comforting, as opposed to looking within for those answers, searching your inner landscape, facing some inner stuff, right? Some deeper emotions, some fears, some uncertainties, some self-limiting beliefs, those types of things. I feel like you don't want to do that, but I feel like that's where the true answers are hidden. That your focus may be very much outward, but the truth is that you actually need to look within to get that sense of peace and to get that sense of direction. So the answers are not laying elsewhere. They're not out there for you to explore with the Page of Wands in reverse. They are actually hidden within your emotional depths, within your subconscious, within your psyche, like deep within you. But I just feel like you are avoiding it, or you don't want to get into that deep, murky space. Okay, 5 of Pentacles in reverse. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Sorry, and the advice here is, of course, that's exactly where you should be looking to get the answers that you are seeking. But I understand that it's easier said than done. Absolutely understand it. Okay, let's see. With the 5 of Pentacles reverse, we have the 2 of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom. Yeah, so this is some sort of like new direction to actually go after that what is missing, right? To like broaden your horizons, to not settle for whatever it is that is not making you actually happy. So I feel like the advice here is to search for that thing, to sort of try something new that you haven't tried before, especially with the Ace of Pentacles. This is something new. This is a fresh beginning, a fresh start. And with the 2 of Wands, this usually indicates needing to leave something, again, needing to leave a comfort zone. We are getting kind of the same message here that we had with the 9 of Cups. Although this is more specifically talking of like where you will find the answers that you are seeking. But with the 2 of Wands, this is more like where you should take action. And I feel like that action is focused on or is urging you towards trying something that you haven't tried before, or looking at new paths that lead away from that comfort zone. Again, I know, easier said than done, but wherever you are right now, and I feel like it has been like that's where you have been for a while, it seems to be doing nothing for you, or there is like no growth there where you are right now. Again, you have to sort of decipher for yourself whether this is a relationship, whether this is a job, whether this is an area or something that you are studying right now, whether this is, I don't know, your friend group, whatever this is for you, whatever this comfort zone is. And finally, the Ace of Wands in reverse. Okay, wow, that is way too many. Way too many, but okay. I guess we're taking them. So we have the Son of Wands in reverse, which is the Knight of Wands, the Daughter of Pentacles, or the Page of Pentacles upright, the 8 of Pentacles in reverse, and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And okay, the 8 of Cups in reverse at the bottom. Yeah, so this to me feels like a holding on, especially with the 8 of Cups being the underlying energy here. This to me feels like a holding on to something that isn't really fulfilling for you, isn't taking you where you want to get to. It's not really doing anything for you. It's just allowing your ego to feel safe. Yeah, there's no progress here, especially with the 8 of Coins in reverse and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. This is very much stuck energy. And I do feel like it's driven by fear, as we can see with the Knight of Wands in reverse here. Like this is fear. This is not daring to go to unexplored terrains, not daring to take any physical steps. And with the Daughter of Pentacles, or the Page of Pentacles, this is almost like thinking that you need to learn some more, you need to find out some more before you can take any physical steps. But I feel like the advice here is to trust more. Trust in yourself more and trust in your capabilities more. Because that feeling that you are having right now, that something is missing, or you know, that you are not 100% happy with where you are, and you are searching for like answers of what you should do or what the right path for you would be outside of you. I feel like all of that is not really taking you anywhere. That's what's causing this frantic energy of like trying this and trying that and trying, you know, whatever. But nothing is really clicking into place. Nothing is really answering the questions that you have. So this seems like a needing to just like take some time and really just trust yourself. And for some reason, as I'm saying it, I feel like that's not something that you want to hear at all. I get this like nervousness, or this jittery, nervous energy as I say that. But that's really the answer here. So yeah, to sum it up, I just feel like January is a bit of a, and has been a bit of an uncomfortable month, and one where, you know, you're not feeling very peaceful, you're not feeling very calm, and it just feels like all over the place. But it's just, I feel like your intuition and like your spiritual team and like the spiritual side of life, that's really trying to come through for you. But you seem to be out of reach for the time being, at least. So let's see what we can find out about February, and you know, yeah, where the energy takes you from there. So okay, we have Balsamic Moon, a time for healing. Wow, we have number 4, Happy Family. Wow, okay. We have number 0, New Beginnings. And we have another number 4 with 31 reducing down to 4, Groundhog Spirit, Time to Let Go. Okay, interesting. Well, February seems to be a much more interesting month. Not saying that January is boring, definitely not boring, but it's just possibly like uncomfortable, you know, just you may just feel the need or the want for the month to just be over already, and because it just seems to be very draining for you the whole month. But the month of February seems to be a lot more dynamic. There seems to be this doorstep that you arrive at. Let's just say it that way. So especially with the new beginnings, I feel like the universe is going to bring you something sort of unexpected, something that pushes you in a new direction and makes you sort of leave behind that like safe security zone or whatever, you know, the space that you have been in, but that hasn't actually allowed you to grow in the way that you have needed to, right? In the month of February, it seems like that is going to be changing, especially with a time for healing. I actually feel like this is not so much healing as in like slowing down. This is more about healing that like nervousness or that anxiety, getting to a bit more of a calm place. But yeah, with a happy family. Now, as much as I would like to say that I feel that this is like this, that this card is portraying what it's actually saying, I actually feel like this is talking about your comfort zone. Like that's the thing that you are sort of walking away from. That's the thing that you are sort of having to leave behind. Like the card says, time to let go. And I'm not saying that you are cutting ties entirely or that you are like uprooting your life entirely or something like that. I'm not feeling something that drastic necessarily, at least not for most of you. But there is a shift that definitely is going to be happening in the month of February, where you are pushed in a new direction. And I feel like there is excitement here with this new beginnings, but I'm not gonna lie, I definitely feel hesitation and apprehension too. But it's just like this new path, even though it's actually good for you, you may not see it and you may not be able to accept it as such when this thing actually happens, when this thing comes about, or when you are pushed out of your comfort zone. So yeah, it's almost like the universe is stepping in for you to make some corrections, because it seems like there is a lot of resistance on your part to do that with everything that we were talking about during this January. Okay, so yeah, that's the overall energy. I feel a shift. I feel like a new beginning, or some sort of new path is opening up for you, or you are directed towards a new path. And as a result of that, there is a need to let something go. But let's see what the tarot cards actually say. Okay, we have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, not surprised. The Ace of Cups. Ooh, okay. I love seeing that here. And the Two of Pentacles in reverse. So yeah, I feel like whatever the shift is in the month of February, or however it comes about for you, it is going to eliminate the possibility of you keeping two things or two realities alive at the same time. So even though there is a new door opening for you, which I feel like is going to cause a lot of like emotional response in you with this Ace of Cups, it seems to fully like activate your heart chakra, stir some deep emotions in you, which is actually, it's a good thing, it's a positive thing. And that's why I really want to drive that point home, that the fact that you are forced out of your comfort zone is actually good for you. It's a positive thing. It just, I feel like it just may not necessarily feel very positive in the moment, because clearly, as we are all like creatures of habit, right? You most likely will want to hold on to that comfort zone, or that old reality that you are so used to, or these patterns that you are so used to, even though they weren't necessarily taking you where you needed to go or where you wanted to go. There was still comfort in them, because that's what you were used to. And I feel like in the month of February, the shift that takes place won't allow you to keep that like 1 foot in, 1 foot out thing going anymore. With the Seven of Pentacles in reverse especially, this is like fully walking away from something, or saying goodbye to something that you have been working towards, that you have been putting effort into. And yeah, just like deciding that it's not actually taking you where you want to go anymore. But for some reason, I do feel like this choice is not made by you. I feel like the universe is the one making the choice for you, or sort of stepping in for you. Because both of these pentacle cards, which are talking of like material, physical life, are upside down. Whereas the emotional card, or the somewhat even like spiritual card with the Ace of Cups, is the only upright card. So I do feel like this is not your choice. But again, this is for your benefit in the long run. But let's see what we can find out with these clarifying cards. So the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, please. The Seven of Pentacles in reverse for February. Okay, I think we have another 7. Yes, we have the Seven of Wands in reverse, and the Father of Wands, or the King of Wands. So with the Seven of Wands in reverse, this is definitely like the fight going out of you, or something that you have been sort of standing up for falling away. Or it just feels like I hope that, I know that it sounds a bit bad, but I feel like you can't really fight this. You don't really stand a chance against the universe in this situation. And again, that is a good thing. That's a good thing, because you can't see that many steps ahead. You can't see what the full plan is or where the journey is ultimately going to take you, but the universe does. And that's why it's forcing you to that uncomfortable path that clearly stirs up emotion in you, but that you may feel like scared to walk down, because it's new, it's uncomfortable. Makes sense, right? We all want to hold on to what we know, what is safe. So yeah, I truly feel like it tests your courage, it tests your resolve and self-belief and all of those things. But I do want you to know, especially with the Father of Wands being upright here, that you do have those traits in you. You do have that self-belief, you do have that confidence, even though it may be buried a bit under some fears and uncertainties, but it's there. And you have what it takes to go down that new path. So when that shift happens, I feel like the universe is saying, don't fight it. Don't resist it. Don't resist the flow where life is sort of trying to take you, because it is going to take you to a much bigger emotional fulfillment than what you are experiencing right now. But let's see with the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups. Oh, okay. Yeah, the Four of Cups and the Father of Swords at the bottom here. The Four of Cups is emotional dissatisfaction. It's like not being driven or stirred up by anything, really. It's a sort of apathetic energy. And so I feel like that's what is going to be stirred in you, meaning that you are going to be coming out of that, like, of that restless energy of not like finding anything that truly speaks to you or that truly clicks for you, like we were saying before when we were talking about January. And even with the Father of Swords here, it's interesting that you have another King at the bottom. So it's that, like, this is the moment of like clarity. This is the moment of seeing a path, seeing the answer that you have been waiting for. And so in a way, with whatever the shift is and the emotional response that is going to stir up in you, I feel like that is actually what is going to bring that inner landscape to the surface, so that you can't actually ignore it anymore. You can't look away. You can't suppress it. And thanks to that, you will also receive that clarity, or you will also get some of these answers that you have desperately been seeking. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. And I also feel a very stark contrast coming out here with the Four of Cups and the Ace of Cups. So whatever this new thing is, this new beginning that you're presented with, or this new path, it is going to make it extremely clear to you how nothing, for maybe a very long time, maybe for months, maybe for years, nothing has made you feel that way in a very long time, with whatever you have been doing and whatever you have been sort of existing in, right? The reality that you have been existing in up to this point when the shift comes. And that sort of, I feel like that's what really alerts you or lets you know that the shift is something to like embrace and move towards. But I'm not saying that it's going to like fully take away the fears or anything, because I feel like those are still going to be coming up, which again are normal. But I feel like that's also an indication for you, if you really like digest and tap into how the shift makes you feel, what sort of emotions crop up for you, then I feel like you will see that it stirs something really, really deep in you. Okay, and the Two of Pentacles in reverse. Let's see. The Two of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, we have the Seven of Pentacles again as the underlying energy. We have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse and the Four of Wands in reverse. Yeah, so see, that's it's kind of like what I was feeling here with the Two of Pentacles from the beginning. So it's a nice clarify in that sense. But I do feel like these two cards are both saying that you can't feed into the already existing life anymore, or the well-established life. The Four of Wands is very often another card of like a comfort zone or something very like cozy and squishy and enjoyable. So yeah, whatever this new path is it's clearly very different from your reality that you're used to, and I just feel like it's taking you away from that comfort zone, probably more intensely than you would like, or the shift is going to be more abrupt than you would like. But again, ultimately, I feel like if you were to try and keep alive this old reality, these old patterns that you are used to, you would just delay getting to the ultimate goal that you really desire. It would just slow your progress down, is what I feel like saying here. But I guess that's February for you. So, oh my God, I'm so excited to see what actually happens in February and what that shift is going to be. But again, I know that it may sound a bit scary and daunting, but in truth, I do truly feel that this is a very positive shift for you. The Ace of Cups is here to vouch for that. Very, very positive shift for you. Okay? And another interesting thing that I just sort of thought of is that we have a lot of fours here. We had number 4 with this happy family card. We have number 4 with this groundhog spirit. We have the 4 of cups and we have the 4 of wands. So you have 4, 4, 4, 4. That may be a number that you see a lot, or that may be a number that like crops up for you in the month of February especially, or maybe even leading up to February. You may see the number 4 a lot, and I just feel like it's there to sort of assure you and or reassure you and support you, because the 4 as a number in numerology is actually a number of like safety, security, structure, right? So I do feel like this is just the universe's way of saying that you are protected and you are held and you are looked out for. Even if you feel like you are out of control, or you have no control in what is happening or the direction that your life is taking. And you have 2 7s here too. So numerologically, you have quite a lot of, and 2 aces, right? So 2 1s. But numerologically, you have a lot of like repeating numbers. And if you think of the number 7 too, it's a very magical number. So again, I feel like there is a lot of support here. But let's move on to March. And let's see what the general energy of March is going to be. Okay, we have communication is key with new moon in Gemini. We have number 5 with attachment. We have another number 4 with firm foundation. And we have number 25, elephant spirit, learn from the past. Now, March seems to be the month where you are faced with some sort of temptation. That's really the key word that is popping up in my head. Temptation. And I feel like the temptation is going to present itself to you in the form of wanting to fall back to some comfortable patterns, to some familiar patterns, to those things that have been sort of keeping you in that anxious, frantic state, looking for answers and looking for clarity. It's okay. I guess the best way that I can say is that it's wanting to drag you back to that energy where you are running as fast as you can, but you're not really getting anywhere. That's the best way that I can say this. So with this communication is key card over here, I get a message that the universe really wants to emphasize the importance of like staying tuned in and staying connected to your intuition and to your spiritual team or whoever you resonate with, right? Because I feel like otherwise, if you drift too far away from that, like from that connection to your emotions, to your inner landscape, again, to your intuition, and where it's trying to guide you and direct you, you may feel a sense of like losing your footing again, or like there is nothing to hold on to. And so again, it seems like it's going to be very easy to fall back into your old ways. And this is, I know it's maybe sounds a bit like judgy, but it's not how it's meant to come across at all, because as I said, it's human, we all do it. We all have our patterns, we all have our habits, and this first quarter here seems to be all about getting you out of those habits that are actually not good for you, and trying to push you to a new direction that would allow you to grow and develop and flourish in a way that you haven't been able to before. But it's clear to me that March is going to present to you or highlight some very strong attachments, some very strong ties that are still in place and that haven't just magically disappeared just because a new path has opened up for you or you have been guided to a new path, right? So I just feel like the universe wants you to be aware, wants you to stay sort of conscious and keep a close eye on the impulses that arise. And especially with the Gemini archetype coming out here too, it could be like feeling sort of opposing feelings or contradictory feelings, or like there is some sort of being pulled in two directions again, or something like that, something scattering or something polarizing that you may experience. But I do feel like it is completely in your hands to overcome that and to keep pushing down that new path. It's completely in your hands. But let's see what the tarot cards tell us. Yeah, okay. Not surprised to see strength here. We have strength in reverse. We have the Hanged One, or the Hanged Man, and the Seven of Swords in reverse. Yeah, not surprised to see that one either. So the Seven of Swords in reverse to me is the main card that seems to indicate that you are likely tempted to sort of fall back to some old patterns. The Seven of Swords is a card that can very often indicate like self-detrimental actions or doing something that you are not actually realizing in the moment. Even though you may have like good intentions or intentions of like serving yourself, helping yourself in some way, but you may not actually realize how what you are doing could hurt you in the long run, or how it could blow up in your face. I feel like there is going to be a bit of a pause or a bit of a timeout that happens, especially with the Hanged One. This is like the energy of not being able to move, not being able to make any progress. And with strength in reverse, this is definitely, well, it can mean two things. It can mean that like fears and insecurities sort of get the better of you, or it could mean that your ego starts sort of running the show rather than, you know, your intuition and your gut feeling and your sort of more those higher chakras, right? That lead you to like where your soul really wants to go. Whereas your ego is very, very often keen on keeping you where you are, keeping you tethered to the familiar. And so, yeah, it could mean either of those things, but really, no matter which way it comes about for you, I just feel like there is There is something that is sort of going to be stopping you in your tracks in the month of March. And I don't want you to feel like this is some sort of a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Even if you do take some time out, even if this new path is like put on hold for a bit, or the progress that you have been making is like slowed down, whatever, it's fine. Ultimately, it's fine. It's just sort of a moment for you to really like test yourself and see how far you've come. Really see the lessons that you have learned and the changes that you have made, the obstacles that you have overcome in a more concrete form. I feel like that's what you will be shown in the month of March. But again, as I said, there is this temptation to fall back, to go back to the familiar path. And this seems to be like a point of decision for you, which way you want to go. So yeah, let's see what the clarifying cards have to say. So Strength in reverse. Strength in reverse. Oh, wow. Okay. And the Father of Swords at the bottom. We have Lovers. So yeah, Gemini energy coming back again. Now with the Lovers, this could be the sort of the pull of the familiar. But because this is also talking of advice, I do feel like this is sort of suggesting to make a choice, because the Lovers is ultimately a card of choice, to make a choice that would be in your highest good. If you like actually eliminate the sort of the base feelings that seem to be stirred up here, like your sense of security, your sense of safety, which is very much, I feel like what gets triggered or activated in the month of March is your root chakra, the base chakra, which, as I said, works around your sense of safety, your sense of security. So I feel like that is the thing that is going to be sort of activated or triggered. And so that's what is really like essentially going to trigger that response, or that temptation to go back to quote unquote safety. But I feel like the advice here is to not let that sort of fear get the best of you, to not let it overpower you, to keep your wits about you with the Father of Swords or the King of Swords, to stay rational, cool, calm, collected, to think about it for a while. So even if you do need to like take some time out so that you could digest everything, do it, take that time. Because I feel like ultimately it's going to be better for your progress. And yeah, just make a choice from your heart space. Make a choice from like a higher awareness, a higher consciousness, rather than from those like base triggers or root chakra triggers. Yeah, so intellectual energy seems to be very much highlighted here. But let's look at the Hanged One. Let's look at the Hanged One for March 2023 for pile 3. Okay. We have the Three of Wands and the Ten of Cups is at the bottom. Yeah, this to me, and looking at all of these like rainbow colors as well, this to me feels like what the universe wants you to keep at the forefront of your mind is the ultimate vision, is like focus on all the potential, all of the happiness that you are yet to explore. And I feel like also reminding yourself of the sort of the dissatisfaction and those like more heavy, more negative emotions that you were feeling as you were in that scattered energy. I feel like reminding yourself of that is something that will also help you to not fall back into that space and to keep you sort of focused on the ultimate goal, or the thing that stirs your emotions, right? This Ace of Cups, this new path that is ultimately leading you towards fulfillment. And again, we see it with the Ten of Cups here, which is the ultimate fulfillment. Everything that you could possibly ever want. So don't lose sight of this new direction and everything that it can sort of bring you, everything that you have yet to explore and experience from it. And finally, the Seven of Swords in reverse. Let's see, the Seven of Swords in reverse for March 2023. Okay, I feel like this one, the Emperor, and we have another Ace of Cups at the bottom here. The Emperor is definitely an energy of staying strong, not allowing external forces to rattle you, to get the best of you, standing in your convictions. So clearly, I know that this is probably like beating a dead horse already, because this sort of the same message keeps cropping up here for the month of March, but truly like staying in your power, not letting yourself get swept up into the old ways, not letting that fear overpower you and overrule you, seems to be the best thing that you can do for yourself here. Again, with this elephant spirit, like it said, learn from the past. Like, you have been down this path already. It's familiar to you. You know what it means. You know what sort of emotions it brings up for you. And there's really no need for you to go back to that, because you have already come so far. So yeah, just staying strong, and especially with the Ace of Cups here too. Again, tapping into that emotional wave or emotional current that whatever this new path is that is going to be revealed to you in the month of February, what that brings up for you, or what that brings about for you, and all of the possibilities and the potential, which again, like looking at these cards, I feel like there is so much potential and there is so much promise in this new path. Even if you are not fully able to see it just yet, just go off of how it makes you feel and sort of the excitement that it brings up in you, and keep that at the forefront. Don't lose touch with that emotional side. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna leave it here, pile 3. I do hope that it wasn't too much of a chaos, this whole thing, even though I do feel like it was in very many regards. But it just seems like you are going to be experiencing a bit of a roller coaster, my dear pile 3. And yes, it may sound a bit scary. I completely empathize with you. But at the same time, I feel like you have no idea what this new path has in store for you. And it's going to blow your socks off. You are going to be, I feel like you are going to be very happy by the end of it. Like when you actually see why it was all necessary and where the path was trying to get you to arrive at, you will see. Because I mean, the Ace of Cups is the center card here, and we have the Ace of Cups as a closing out card too. So clearly that emotional satisfaction is the center theme here. And so I am actually so excited for you, and I'm so happy for you, pile 3, that that's where the universe is trying to take you. That's where you are being led. And I hope that you see it too. But hang in there and let me know how it goes. I would love to hear from you. So if any of this resonates with you, please let me know in the comment section, or you can just give me a thumbs up too. That works as well. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for watching, and I would love to see you here for one of my other readings, whenever that is. So hopefully I'll see you again very, very soon. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.